Hello Math Department, it's Tanner here, and I'm putting together a video real quick just to kind of show you how you can make use of the sticky note on the overview page of itsLearning. I'll try to keep it brief, but I just wanted to show you what we were going to be doing in algebra and how we were going to be making use of the USA Test Prep daily question. So you should be able to see my screen now. So in the background here you see itsLearning, and of course this is your launch pad with your plans, announcements, follow-up tasks. But throughout all of those videos that we kept watching, they were talking about the sticky note, and that's this thing over here that I've just labeled test for the moment. Well, this is actually a really good place to post specific information that you want your students to see, every day. So what I wound up doing was clicking edit and renaming this to reminders. And I don't know if that'll be the ending title, but that's what I'm going with for now. And on mine, this is what it initially looked like. It just looked like a place where you can type some information in, using text. And of course you could do bold or italics, but as with a lot of places in itsLearning, this is like that rich text editor. So if you click more options, you'll quickly see that there's a lot that you can put in here. So basically I just started putting information in here, and I put it over here on a document so that I didn't lose it. The first thing I put on top, since this is my sandbox course, and I don't want anything getting deleted in it, was this. And you'll notice that you can paste stuff into the rich text editor, but in the case of my computer, it tells you that you're not allowed to post directly into it. So it opens up like this little separate window. So you just paste whatever you copy into this, click OK, and it puts it there. And you can click save and it updates. I know you all know that, but I wanted to point out that I was looking at this and I was thinking that I didn't really like how open it looked. And I knew from in the past, just working with building worksheets and stuff, you can use tables to do a lot of things. So I went in here and I started playing around, and you can actually insert tables with the rich text editor. So when you click table, it pops up a menu that's got a bunch of different options, and I didn't need anything complicated. So just one row and one column. I'm not really sure what it looks like if you start putting headers in there, so you could play with that. But all I did was make one row, one column, and I went ahead and just made the border size like 3 to make it a little bit thicker. And when you do this, you wind up with a table in here. But effectively what that's going to do when you save it is give you like a border around everything that you're doing, everything that you want to type. So again, since this is my sandbox, I am going to put that initial make sure you copy and don't move to other courses. But then after that, I'm just going to include all the information from my course specifically. So I thought it would be cool to put my email on there. Obviously they're supposed to have it, but kids ask me for my email all the time. So, if I put it on the front page of itsLearning, maybe they'll remember that it's just my first and last name. And I also put the Galileo password, just because that seemed like something that would be pertinent. You could put a lot of other information on here, and I just started with that. And of course, on my algebra courses that aren't in Sandbox, this would just be the top. They wouldn't have that copy message. So we have Mr. Howell's email, we have the password, and then down below that, I was trying to think of other things that would be important or that could be useful to have on here. And USA Test Prep has a daily bell ringer. And I was looking on USA Test Prep, and I noticed that it actually has the option on there for you to take the question of the day and put it on your own site. So I thought I might see if it would work in itsLearning, and it does, because it's just an embed code, and embed codes work with itsLearning. So I went ahead and put daily bell ringer in here. With information for them. So I put, you will complete both the question of the day, because they give you one of those, and the vocab of the day. So you actually get 2 questions each day. And I put, you will submit your bell ringer in your plans section each day. And then down below here, I decided to actually go and get the, usually it's called like a widget. So I decided to go get the widget, which is the daily problems from USA Test Prep. So the way you do that, just go to USA Test Prep, and my computer has some stuff pre-saved, but you go to USA Test Prep, log in, of course, and go to classroom resources. In my case, since I'm talking about algebra, you just go to Algebra 1. And again, all I did was go to resources and found my class. Lots of stuff on here. And I just noticed here in the middle, it says, question of the day on your site. And it says you can put their question and vocab of the day on your own teaching site. So you click that, and it asks for optional information. You don't even have to fill that in, but you click generate code. And it gives you everything you need down here to display it on your site. So I copy that, and I come back over to itsLearning, and basically now that I have that code, I can embed it straight into my little table that I've got going here. And the way you do that, here you see embed, and you can click embed, and it gives you the option to do a URL. And the thing is, like, what I just got wasn't really a URL. URL is usually just like the website title. So I don't actually need that in this case, but right here where it says source, that's referring to like all the source code that's actually in this. So all the programming going on in the background that you don't see. So if you click source, it brings up all this stuff. And that's literally everything that we've already put on here. So I can just scroll down, and if you look here, see where this ends and says table? Well, that means that's where your table stopped. So I can go right here immediately above it. Body, by the way, meaning body paragraph, because I had writing above it. And so this is all my writing up here. And now this is where the table would end. So I'm just going to paste that embed code right there. And I'm going to click off a source. And now you see right here it says iframe. And it didn't quite put it where I wanted it to. But you can just drag it down and stick it wherever you want it. And then you can try to center it if you want to, and now it's right there. And it just says iframe, and then that's just what it's called whenever you get an embed code like that. By the way, you could do this with any YouTube video as well. And of course, it's got like brought to you by USA Test Prep. I don't really care about that, so I'm gonna delete that. They're gonna see USA Test Prep on this. And then down below this, still in my table, I wanted to also put like a link to Delta Math, because I know we'll be using that. So I just went and found a picture on the internet of Delta Math, and you could use any picture you wanted to. And I like copied it. So above it, I put Delta Math and use the link below to access Delta Math. And what I'm going to do is, instead of just giving them a link, which is kind of boring to look at, it's just a piece of underlined text, I am going to put the actual picture of delta math down here. And with this rich text editor, like I've already been doing with the text, since I already had it pre-typed, you can copy and paste. Well, the same goes for the pictures. So I'm pasting this. Of course, it tells me that I can't paste directly into it. So I put it here. It says Delta Math Cool. And now we have this, which in my opinion is far more attractive than just the underlined text. And what I'm going to do now is take this picture, this image, and I know sometimes, like with some programs, you can right click on the link. In this case, it doesn't work, but like right here, you can click link, and you find the URL. So again, that's just the website. So in this case, Delta Math. And I'm going to just copy that. I mean, you could have just typed it in, but. And I'm going to click OK. And notice that because I had this picture selected when I clicked link, it just stuck that link into the picture. So instead of you having, and I just want to show you what I mean. So like up above here, if I would have done that, now I've got a piece of text that's underlined. Instead of doing that, if you click the picture that you put in there first and then link it, it'll just hook it to the picture. And then I'm just going to click save to come out of this. And if you look over here now, I basically have like this little bar running all the way down the side of my overview page with information for the kids. And you can play around with it to try to get it to look neater. I mean, like, you know, you might want to center some of this text. You might want to get rid of some of the spaces. Notice this actually, when I centered this question of the day, embed code, the thing that said iframe earlier, when I centered it, it centered it. Because I made the borders 3, it's getting kind of close to my text here, which I don't really like. That's just personal preference. But I can come back and I should be able to right click in the table and do table properties. Yeah. So if you right click inside that table, and again, all I did was go back to edit, the little pen or the pencil up there. And then I just right clicked in the table and went to table properties. Well, instead of border size 3, I'm going to do like 2. Make it just a little bit thinner. And now it's still kind of closed, but it looks better than it did with the 3. If I'm looking at the screen that I'm sharing with you, it's a little harder to see, but on my screen over here that's larger, it does make a difference. And the last thing that I wanted to point out now is that, you know, you can click Delta Math here, this image, and it takes you to Delta Math. Similarly, with this USA Test Prep being embedded in here, this is what I'm going to make my warm-ups now. So they can click question of the day, and it opens the question of the day. They can click vocab of the day, and it opens the vocab of the day. As far as I know, there's no way to really hook this to your USA Test Prep account, meaning like it's not going to track their answers for you. So I'm not going to use it for that purpose. I'll just make sure I copy the questions each day and like keep it on like a running slideshow basically. But what it will do for the kids is tell them whether or not they get their questions right or wrong. So like going back to question of the day, let's see, that should be this, right? Yeah. I was not prepared to factor just then. Anyway, if they pick the right one, it actually tells them why. So, you know, I suppose that it is, you know, possible for them to do their warm-up and just kind of click it until they found the answer. But my purpose in doing this really is just to ensure that they have a question every day. I'm going to go over it anyway. But basically, I'm going to tell them, definitely show work. And if you don't show work, you're just not going to get credit, and that'll just be that. And then again, I'll just keep a slideshow going with the questions. I'll just take like a screenshot of them and put them in there. And then, if we were doing this in a regular school year, even though this is itsLearning, I could still click that and display it on my board every day. Effectively, if you're in an EOC class, the kids are just building practice resources throughout the year. And even if you're not in an EOC class, I'm not sure if they have question of the day for all the other subjects. I'll go check real quick, while I'm doing this video. So instead of Algebra 1, let's go check on, pre-calculus. And yeah, they do have a question of the day for pre-cal. That makes me think they have it for everything. Algebra 2 and advanced algebra. Yeah, they've got one. So, even if you're not in an EOC course, this still essentially gives you like a free multiple choice and vocab question every day. Not saying you have to do it, but I think that this is just a nice way to have some consistency every day. If you have more questions about this, let me know. Otherwise, have fun with it. Take care, guys.